What is going on, guys? Money Webby here, back again on Monday with a 9-game slate here tonight. I get it broken down for you with my money six of my favorite plays on the slate. Really excited about it. If you are too, go ahead and slap that like button. Really helps me out. Let's try to get over 60 likes in this one. Thank you if you can hit that for me. And yeah, so looks like a pretty solid slate. Some good value with hitting. And there is some slight weather concerns in these first 3 games here. If you look at my cursor, the Yankees game, the Phillies game, and the Red Sox game do have some rain concerns. But as of right now, they don't look too alarming where I have to avoid one of those players. If anything changes, though, with the weather, I am recording this at 11:25 a.m. Eastern Time, so it could change. We have around like 8 hours until lock. So definitely follow me on Twitter at MoneyWebby if I need to update any plays there with the weather concerns. But let's get it right into it. First guy up is going to be Chris Sale. Just too good of a spot. His strikeout stuff has been extremely electric recently. 12 Ks, 10, 10, and 17 for the last 5 games. So really good stuff. Back at home here against a Texas lineup that isn't good against lefties. It's a park downgrade for them. They really rely on their home run power, especially in Texas. And Chris Sale has really dominated them. 173 plate appearances, so we're talking a pretty big sample. 32% K rate and around like a 165 batting average or something like that in those 173 plate appearances. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there. Think he has 30 plus upside again. I'm going to go with Charlie Morton. This guy has been quietly having a very good year, especially recently. Really getting it done. 32, 25, and 31. The last 3 games. 9,900. His price then went down a lot for whatever reason. It is going against an Oakland team that doesn't strike out as much, but still, based on his splits recently, over the last few years and just in his career against right-handed batters, he's been really good this year. The Ks have been down a little bit against right-handed batters, but he has a 227 WOBA allowed to them, so really dominating them. And that's kind of the meat of the lineup you have to worry about with Oakland, with guys like Chapman. You got Chris Davis in there, Simeon in there. The most of their kind of upper echelon guys are right-handed batters, so if Moore can make some quick work of them, strike out some of the strikeout-prone guys like Matt Olson, Chris Davis, and maybe a few of the other guys in the bottom of the order, I think he can have a really good outing here, go around 7 innings again. He's been extremely efficient with his pitches, and I think he's in for another good one here against Oakland. They're only implied 3.5 runs, and he's had really good strikeout stuff throughout the whole entire year, 30% K rate, so I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my second pitcher. That leaves you with 36.50 remaining per player. Doesn't really allow you to pay up that much for a hitter, but like I said, there's really good value for hitters on this slate. And for my first guy, I'm going to go with Mancada here at 4,400. Hitting very well recently over the last 10 games, 10.5 DK points on average. Average at 381. On base percentage is 43%. And against Anibal Sanchez, this is a guy where he has power and stolen base ability against. He's 2 for 6 with 2 home runs against them in his career. Hasn't got on first base yet, so hasn't been able to show off that stolen base ability, but Sanchez has been a guy, especially last year, that was really easy to steal on. And Sanchez, he's a lot kind of worse against lefties, especially with the power. He's allowing 2.4 home runs per 9 to lefties on the season. So Mancada on the left side of the plate, a much better hitter. And Anibal Sanchez, not a great pitcher, especially against lefties. I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my first hitter. Then I'm going to go with Hernandez here, the leadoff hitter for the Phillies recently with the injury to McCutchen. He's been hitting pretty well. We're just getting more drafting points in that leadoff spot. Got a triple the other night. Got walked twice and got a stolen base. So that kind of shows off his ability at the leadoff spot. He can get a stolen base here. He does have the speed, especially last year. I believe he had like 16 or 17 stolen bases. They're implied 5.1 runs. And going against Taylor Clark, a guy that is getting hit pretty hard against left-handed batters so far. He is a younger pitcher, but he has been getting hit pretty hard. His xFIP against lefties was like over 6, so analytics point to him really struggling against them, and hopefully Hernandez in that leadoff spot can get us a single, get on base a few times, and potentially get a stolen base. Really good price at 3,600 for a guy in a high run total, the leadoff spot. Like I said, there is some weather concerns here, but I like Hernandez if this game does play out. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my second guy. Then I'm going to go with Jeff McNeil, a similar situation with as Cesar Hernandez will be in that leadoff spot if he does play. Very good against right-handed pitchers this year and last year. Showed off more power last year, but still hitting for a really good average. I don't typically like to target guys that don't hit for great power, but I think with this going to the Yankee Stadium here, I think his power can really kick it up a notch, especially against Tanaka, who's really been struggling with home runs over the last few games. He's allowing 1.6 home runs per 9 to left-handed batters on this season. And in the leadoff spot, it can get up to 5 at bats. Tanaka really up and down, so this Mets lineup could really get to them, get to him if this game does play out. And Tanaka, if his stuff isn't a little bit more crisp, he was leaving a good amount of pitches over the middle of the plate in that matchup last time out. I believe it was against Toronto. So Jeff McNeil, 3,600, good price tag for a leadoff guy with some good pop in Yankee Stadium. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my third guy. For my final guy, we're going to go with a little revenge narrative here. Carlos Gonzalez at 3,000. Going back to Coors Field, played there last year and had some really good power numbers in Coors Field. Definitely doesn't have that same power outside of Coors Field. I always saw last year. I think pretty sure he got traded off the Rockies and just really struggled from there on out. But when he was on the Rockies, when he was at home in Coors Field, he was put on some really good numbers, especially against right-handed pitchers. And that's what he's going to be doing here tonight. It's not a great matchup. Marquez is a really good pitcher. But I think Carlos Gonzalez always has that power upside. If he can just get a hold of one here tonight in Coors Field, can get a home run. I mean, he could get a plate appearance or two against the bullpen as well. And that little revenge narrative maybe will help him get a little extra power on his swing. And he's just way too cheap for a guy at 3,000 in the 5 spot last night and has been in that kind of 5 spot, that home run ability like I mentioned in Coors Field. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there. 3,000 for a guy in the 5 spot in Coors Field. I don't care if Nolan Ryan's on the mound. I think that's too good of a price tag for a guy of that ability. So $36.50 remaining per player, and you still got Chris Sale and Moore, and in my opinion, the 2 top pitchers for the safety and upside on the slate. And you got some guys that have really good ability, I think, at their price tag. So I hope you enjoyed it. Slap a like if you did. Over 60 likes would be appreciated. Thank you. Hit that sub button so you don't miss out on any more of these plays. And you can hit the bell icon after you subscribe to get alerted every time I upload. But like I mentioned, the weather concerns in the first 3 games on the East Coast, Yankee Stadium, Phillies, and Red Sox. Definitely keep an eye on that. I will update on Twitter at MoneyWebby if anything changes with that. But good luck. We'll see you back here again next time.